Hei mauri ora, Manawatū, Manawatoka, Manawatoka. Tēnei hoki I tō manawa ka tīna, tēnei hoki I tō manawa ka toka. Tēnei hoki I tō manawa ka pautai akitia, tēnā noho tō manawa, he manawa ora, he ora. E te awa whānui, nau mahara mai koutou ki tēnei whakataetai, ko tira ki te wāhi te rohe o Manawatū. Ko tararua nā pai maunga, ko Manawatū te awa, ko kura haupo te waka, rangitāne te iwi, ko whātanga te tangata. Tini whetū ki te rangi, ko rangitāne ki te whenua. Haumi e hui e tai ki e. E hoa mā ko wai tene ki neina, he uri, he mokopuna mai te waka o Tainui, rawa ko te aroa, he piko he taniwha, te aroa e, ko Weramu tāma ki tēnei. E mihi ana, tēnā koutou.
It's been a fine day of softball here at Colquhoun Park in Palmerston, North New Zealand, as we continue with day 2. And the first hit of this ball game comes courtesy the leadoff hitter for Japan, Hiroshi Sakata, as we continue, of course, with our Tradestaff International Series. This game 8 featuring Australia and Japan. Hello, everyone. Lance Wynn alongside Hall of Famer Jackie Smith, umpire and chief cultural expert Ridimir Tamaki. Glad to have you with us here. Both of these two teams come in 2-0, so something certainly has to give here. The Aussies have been rolling. They have rolled over a couple of big dogs. Now they are looking and set their sights on Japan. So take a quick look at the Japan order. It'll be Sakuraiwa. That will be the number 2 hitter after Sakata. Kisuki Kitazawa will be batting the 3 spot. Hiroku Matsuda, the power hitter, and we'll fill out the rest of the order as we roll along here. Defensively, it's Marshall Cronk that is in the circle. He will also be batting cleanup, something you don't see very often, Jackie, your pitcher batting in the number 4 spot.
Yeah, well, sometimes that happens in teams. You've often, will have these pitchers that are also quite capable at being great hitters, so you're not going to leave them out. You need hitters in your game, you need them in your lineup, so they're just showing Australia that they're going to go with their top lineup.
Now, of course, we got the third team out there, our Blue Crew, and it is once again a top-notch group.
It sure is, lads, and Blue team out there today. Round the horn on third base, we've got Mark Porteous, who hails from the North Harbour region here in New Zealand. On first base, we've got Lance Brown from the Wanganui Awa, and on the dish, Andrew McManus, North Harbour, New Zealand.
Like I said, top-notch, sir. Thank you very much, as you saw Kiriowa go down on strikes, and now it'll be the number 3 hitter in Kisuki Kitazawa. Kitazawa has had himself a solid day, as Japan has just been very methodical here today, Jackie, and doing what they do. Excellent fielding, good hitting, and good pitching.
Yeah, I think that's how I would definitely describe them as well. They're very consistent. They're, as you said, methodical. So it will be interesting to see what they bring to this game, because they might like to try something different. They might like to put the Australian infield under a little bit more pressure. So, it'll be great to see what both teams actually bring to this game now that they've actually had a couple of wins under their belts. It's going to be a tight game, I know that.
Absolutely, Jackie. Looking at it from a Māori perspective, working together, mahi tahi, one of our ki waha ahakoa he te he pauna, doing those little things, working together to, reach success. Doing the things that will achieve what they need to achieve. And that's happening right now in both teams through this tournament. Both teams have been chipping away, doing the little things, getting those things right, so that when they need to explode, they'll bring it.
Sakata advancing to second base on the pass ball. Kitazawa looking to cash in the game's first run. Big swing and a miss there. So if you don't know much about Marshall Cronk, certainly a very versatile guy, power hitter normally, can throw really hard, but also plays a very good infield. So always good to have a guy with a number of different tools in his arsenal. And heating up here, chasing the rise ball, down goes Kitazawa. Second strikeout victim of the game. Back-to-back for Cronk, and now it'll bring up the power hitter and designated player in Hikaru Matsuda. And Jackie, we talked about Matsuda in our previous game. He is the power in the Japan lineup.
Yeah, he is, and he also is their leader within their team. He leads by example, not only as a player, but you can sort of see that presence that he has in terms of leading on the field, bringing energy, bringing calmness when it needs. And that's usually what you get from a senior player on your team. But today, he's also been consistent.
That pitch way outside. And if you're just joining us, of course, this is the Tradestaff International Invitational Series featuring 6 of the best teams in the world as they prepare for next week's WBSC World Cup Championship to take place in Auckland, just down the road here. And not often you get a chance to play or at least see the competition, and this is the case here. So rain wreaked havoc yesterday. Today, different story. Lots of ball being played. Teams getting a chance to play 2 and 3 games as Cronk all over the top of that strike zone for a called strike.
For our international years, lads, we have a saying here in Aotearoa, he rangi mokupuna, and that's what it is today. Yesterday, Tawhiri Mātia battled us around, but today, Tamanui Te Rā is shining, and we're playing ball.
Josh White over there to settle under that to record the final out. So what started off with a leadoff single ends in a pop-out. No runs, no hits. Runner left aboard. First chance to Japan, nothing doing there. When we come back, it will be the Aussies up to bat. Don't go anywhere.
For all the best throwbacks, 90s and more.
Welcome back as we have played a half inning. No score between Japan and Australia. 2 undefeated teams come in. Japan beat with wins over the Czech Republic and New Zealand. And Australia took down the reigning #1 Argentina and the Czech Republic. So looking at the batting order for this Australian team, an 8-1 win over the Czech Republic prior to this game, so you can bet that those sticks are well warmed up. As you take a look there, Callum Bichel will lead things off, followed by Riley James. Nicky Shales, still classified as one of the best all-round players in the world, will be batting third. Marshall Cronk pitching and batting cleanup. Josh White in the 5 spot. Julian Jemmett, Brendan O'Byrne, Josh McGovern, Matt Harrow, of course, coach's son, and Hayden Matthews will be out in left field and not hitting. Defensively for Japan, and they have been tight and stingy here today in this tournament, and boy oh boy, they are good. Morita out in left, Kurioa in center, and Hamamoto in right. One is the shortstop. Sakuraba is at the hot corner. Sakata at second, Toriyama at first, and Yuya Yamawaki will be working to a veteran catcher in Kosuke Katazawa. So Yamawaki with his first look here at Callum Bichel, and we saw Callum Bichel playing in the junior worlds a couple of years back. He's made the jump, and that was in Prague in 2019, and here he is back as one of the mainstays for this Australian team. He looks at a called strike. So Jackie, if you just played a game where you put up 8 runs, it was a convincing win, you got to go back to back, or you think that's an advantage? As boy, self-defense there for Yamawaki, as that was a hard hit ground ball right to the chest, and he was very calm, cool, and collected, and that's what we talked about defense being tight.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the key in this game. These two teams are definitely have had a good day so far. They're probably even coming into this game. Yeah, but it's going to be about tight games. Pitching match, I think it's going to be about that pitching match, right? Who's going to actually dominate as a pitcher, and making sure there's minimal errors. It's going to come down to that. That's how tight this game will need to be. As you know, those if a team can put pressure on the other team to create any errors, then that might actually hurt that team.
Well, we'll see who cracks under the pressure, because when you get teams like this, you're right, Jackie, it's usually just one mistake one way or the other that turns the tide. As you see Riley James, the designated player, working hard with a 1-1 count.
And you can see from the Japanese pitcher, he's got a little bit of a different style here. Almost comes to a stop, but doesn't. But that can change, that can affect your timing as a hitter. So they'll have to adjust to that, Australia.
Sure, any kind of pitcher that has that little bit of a little extra push or delivers from a different release point is certainly going to take some getting used to. And it's not always about the velocity with those guys, it's about the ability to pick up that ball coming out of the hand. And that pitch, a nibble but no bite. So a good eye there from James, as he works to count now to 3 balls and a strike. That's in there. That'll run the count full now, with nobody aboard and one away here, just underway here at Colquhoun Park, with game number 8, Australia and Japan. And had a notion, yes he did, and they called him on the swing. So Riley James almost stole a base, but not
almost
the case.
Stole first.
That's right, not the case, and they're now 2 away for Nick Shales.
Yeah, and watching the game, you can just see that there's been a bit more energy. Both these teams in this afternoon, you'd think that they've all had a couple of games. You'd almost think that they'd start to actually lose that energy, but in fact, it's picked up.
Well, it seems like these guys, honestly, to put it mildly, like they're dying to get out there and play. Like yesterday really seemed to they were like bottled up, and then as soon as the weather was good today, they just jumped over it. And oh boy, I feel bad. That changeup was so nasty, Mr. Turamu. I was insulted for you. Can you believe that? That's how good that changeup was from that young man. So Yamawaki, the first time he's pulled that out of the hat, and he comes again, but can't get that one down in the zone. And I'll tell you, if you're going to get Nick Shales out, you're going to need that and some more.
I had a chat with a really great pitcher from here in New Zealand, who I rate really, really highly, and he always talked about, my job is to fool the hitters, be the magician. And at the same time, if I can fool the umpire, I don't want to fool the umpire, but I want to make sure he can.
That's a fine line.
Yeah, it's a fine line, but yeah.
And he went to the outside corner,
Great spot.
and that was a beauty. So turn that K the other way. 3 up, 3 down. A good start for Yamawaki in Japan as they hold the Aussies off the board. You are watching coverage of the 2022 Tradestaff International Series on Ballpark Broadcasting News Ed, or NZ. Brought to you by Softball New Zealand. Don't go away. Welcome back as we get set for the top of the second inning. Scoreless ball game. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters for Japan in Morita, Toriyama, and Une to face Marshall Cronk, who, despite giving up a leadoff single, bounced back with back-to-back strikeouts before a pop-up by hard-hitting Matsuda ended the inning. So we'll see if he can't pick things up here. Morita, of course, the left fielder, thinking otherwise as he chases a rise ball up for a strike.
Took a big cut. Like that.
Jack, you made a really good point just earlier on about the players wanting to be here, get out there and do the mahi. Hey, they're here to do the mahi, they're here to do the work. They want to work, they want to play. So long as Tamanui Te Rā can shine down on us, we'll keep playing.
Morita with probably the most unique batting stance that I've seen in a while. Not quite sure how you can manage that, but that's probably the lowest crouch you'll see.
Look at that. Maybe we could practice that stance later. See how long we can hold that.
If I got in that position, Jackie, I wouldn't get out of that in a week. That'd take me a week to unfold, okay? So that's not fun in games, okay?
No, but it is when you look at it, right? You look at that stance that they have and you think, but see through his core, it's really nice and strong. He's actually not rotating though, he's still, so it's all about the abs.
No, well, I knew that's what you were referring to. That's why I bowed out. Well, I don't think that's a stance you're going to teach. Definitely unique, but it seems to work for him as he flares that one up. That's going to be an easy play out there for Hayden Matthews. Couple steps in, and there's one away. That will bring up the first baseman in Kazaya Toriyama. Toriyama, of course, has had an outstanding day. He cashed in a couple of runners in the first game and did the same in game 2. So he has been consistent for Japan here. And I know we spoke about, you know, Jackie, the importance of this tournament, the importance of each game. And, you know, you can't take it too serious, but you have to take it a little bit serious for sure. And I think if you're the coach, you got to, either of these two coaches, you got to like where your team's at right now.
Oh, I think they will, absolutely, they will be happy of where they're at now, but there's always room for improvement. They'll always be looking for something, some little edge, extra edge. They'll be setting themselves goals really for each game, won't they?
That pitch missing down by Cronk. So a good eye from Toriyama. And the count now 3 balls, no strikes. Cronk tried to bend that over the corner, didn't get the call. So a 1-out walk gives Japan a base runner.
And you see even Toriyama had that stance where they crouch down, right? They really sink into their hitting position.
be the number 7 hitter in Yoyu Une, and defensively an outstanding shortstop. He has slid down the lineup here today, which no surprise really. I imagine a little bit of tinkering going on. Une certainly usually in the top 3 hitters for Japan, and just goes to show coaches moving things around, giving guys a chance. And I was speaking with Team Canada coach John Stewart, and he was more proud not of his team winning, but the fact that everyone got a chance to play, and that was what was important to him. As that pitch, we'll see if it's called a strike, and it is.
Yeah, and I believe that all the coaches will be looking to do that. They'll be wanting all of their players to get some game time so they can, work on their craft, just feel comfortable, iron out any little areas that they know that they need to actually take off the diamond and go away and work on, so that they can come back and work and do better at that.
Cronk has been trying to establish that outside corner to lefties, not getting the call. So he might have to come on in, see if he gets the in. That one's slack. That's going to go for a base hit. So Une doing what he does very well, bat control. And they're now 2 runners on for Tei Hamamoto.
And he just sat back on that outside rise ball and took it over left field there. Has a slapper. If you can get on top of those rise balls, that's what you'll want to do.
Probably the toughest hitter to defend is a slapper. You get a good one, you're just not quite sure. You have to bring the infield in, but that's when it goes over your head usually, or you play a little deeper and they can lay it down and beat it out with speed. So usually slapper hitters are usually the guys with good hands, very quick, and Japan has a whole heap of them.
Yeah, and they just bring more options to their game, so they've got more tools in the toolkit. And exactly as you've said, Lance, the field might set up in certain positions, but what they can do is, because they can actually do different things as slap hitters, they can actually place the ball around the field.
Big rip there from Hamamoto, swings through that for a strike. Count all even now, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Une just had another set of skills.
Yeah.
And he just had confidence in doing the job that he had to be asked to do.
That drop ball missing in. So Cronk having to work hard here. And that's no surprise. Any pitcher that has faced Japan today has had to work hard. But in defense, Marshall Cronk is probably Australia's 3rd pitcher, really. Certainly not their ace of the squad, with Adam Volkard sitting right side on the bench.
Well, the thing is, with both of these teams, we know they have depth in their pitching, right?
And that pitch again missing, not quite sure, as Marshall Cronk's not quite sure where he can put it to get a strike call.
Yeah, he's not really happy with that zone at the moment. It feels like he's actually putting it right there, so...
Well, I think as a pitcher, and you tell me, umpire, if you're not getting the out, do you bring it in? Because the philosophy from a hitter is, if you're going to give him the out, you can't give him the in too.
Correct. And we want part of that ball over the plate. And Andy McManus is looking for a part of that ball to float over that part of the plate, especially that outside.
Yusuke Sakuraba, the 3rd baseman, now up with the bases loaded and 1 away. So a chance here for Japan to open the scoring, and again, so clearly not getting the out.
Just not getting that outside
He's not
corner.
getting that outside edge, yeah.
No.
And for a pitcher to keep forcing that, it really isn't a good idea. So maybe someone needs to come out, have a little chat with Marshall, settle him down a bit, and give him that as he comes inside, and a swing and a miss.
He's just got to keep working away.
And I know that the plate umpire and the catcher, they're working together. The catcher's checking in with the umpire and saying, hey, look, how far in before they find that sweet spot and they hit it all day.
Well, you know that rapport between the home plate umpire and the catcher.
That's important.
Is very important. Sometimes that's a delicate balance there. And the catcher has to be at his most diplomatic to be able to convey, ask a question and get an answer, and be civil about it. So Kronk battles back. Big strikeout to get Sakuraba for the second out here in this inning. With the bag still full, it's going to go back to the top of the shop, and Hiroshi Sakata, who led off the game with a single.
It's one of the biggest relationship pieces of the game between the plate umpire and the catcher, to establish a relationship really early and get good rapport between the two of them.
Kronk jumps ahead with a called strike. Well, there's so many little pieces to the puzzle that actually make the entire game go, and that one missing up, that is such a vital one. You're talking about two players that are involved in every pitch. So the umpire, your pitcher, and the catcher involved in every single play in the ball game.
That's a key relationship. Exactly, that's.
Took a little something off, couldn't get the up. And Kronk again struggling. Tough when you're struggling as a pitcher too, Jackie, when you have a team like Japan that's so disciplined. They don't cut you a whole lot of slack.
Yeah. But I think also sometimes...
Swing and a miss, chase that one way up.
So sometimes too, it's not just about pitchers, and sometimes pitchers can get caught up in thinking that they have to just be striking out every hitter that comes up. You know, you can also rely on your field, making sure you hit your spots. There you go.
Swing and a miss, and Kronk bears down when he needed to and gets that big strikeout. 6 men to the plate, sent by Japan, no runs. Couple of hits. Few runners left aboard. We'll head on down to the bottom of the second inning. When we come back, you're watching the Tradestaff International Series on Ballpark Broadcasting NZ.
Thank you, very the speed, eh?
Welcome back as we move down to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be 4-5-6 for the Aussies in Kronk, Josh White, and Julian Jamat, set as the scheduled 3 to face Yuya Yamawaki. And Yamawaki, good first inning. Seems like it's been a while since he's been in that circle. 1-2-3 went the Aussies in the first, and that included back-to-back strikeouts of Riley James and Nick Shales. So Kronk here trying to help his own cause as well as the cause of the green and gold, and that one is just a little short. Getting to the plate, and the count even at 1-1
And lads, in our culture, we were saying here, pakanga kei te haere, which means, hey, look, there's a battle that to be had here. And this is a really good matchup between, as you said earlier on, the two teams. Two of the top teams at the moment, asserting their dominance of this tournament.
And you can bet that Yamawaki knows that, as he stayed well out of Kronk's wheelhouse there. And the count even 2-2 strikes. So being very careful here to a good hitter. And got him to chase the drop ball. So Kronk, the third strikeout victim of the game for Yamawaki. That, of course, 3 strikeouts in just 4 batters. So Yamawaki is on a roll, and it'll be now the number 5 hitter and first baseman Josh White. Josh White, of course, another mainstay on this Australian team. The team that was at the World Cup in Prague in 2019 is pretty much the exact same roster that was rolling through over there on that right side dugout. So experience certainly a factor. They're still young, and I think that, of course, with Nick Shales, their leader, and a couple of the other individuals that lead by example, this team is going to be strong for a few years to come, as Yamawaki tried to bend that one on the outside corner.
And he's really working that outside corner.
One, two, missing out. So a good eye by Josh White to leave it just where it was. And he will run the count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Oh, just lost that one.
Well, you see, you can tell that obviously, and again, if you don't have a landing area in the circle that is consistently used, it'll be dug up a lot easier. And I know that here it's mostly mat that's used. Is that right, Jackie?
It
You
is
can correct
mostly,
me?
yes.
So
it is mostly mat.
Yes. So once you really get in that circle and use the rubber, as that pitch was a close pitch too, and White will trot on down the first. If you use the mat, then that means that the circle's going to get compacted, but not like it would if you were using the rubber. The rubber means that that front part of the circle is very well worn and has to be packed down extra tight. So a little different there, and you can see guys adjusting to it. And a swing and a miss as Julian Jamat.
Yeah, and each pitcher that comes up will have different landing positions, right? And so they're going straight into the dirt, which means it's going to create maybe a hole somewhere.
Well, now you got someone else's, as that one was just filthy, as
Nice
you
one,
saw.
Filthy.
Jamat, he didn't even know. I mean, he didn't get he's going to need a shower, Jackie. That was really not necessary, as that's the second time he's pulled that out. Comes again with it, and a good job by Jamat to get just enough of it to stay alive.
Using all his tools in his kitty, as we would say.
He is.
All his tools out in his basket.
Well, you're in the batter's box, and you see one pitch where he stumbles and bounces a couple, and then he comes back with a changeup that buckles the knees. There's that change again. So 3 straight changeups.
3 straight changeups.
And you don't usually see that. So good discipline. And now, Jackie, are you calling for that high rise ball?
I don't think he'll be going. Let's just say I don't think he'll throw another changeup. There you go.
Came with the high rise ball. And sure enough, down he goes.
Oh, and they called that. Was it called strike, or was that on his swing?
I think that was on the swing.
On the swing.
On the swing?
Yeah. So 2 away, runner on, and it'll be Brendan O'Byrne, another mainstay in the Aussie lineup. We watch Brendan O'Byrne with the juniors. Aussies in Whitehorse in 2015. Prince Albert, 2016. And here he is now, 2022, as one of the pillars for the Aussies. That ball is lifted up, and that's going to be trouble if it lands fair. But tracking that down was Te Hamamoto, and he makes the grab to end the inning and the threat. So no runs, no hits, a runner left aboard. We have played to complete. We are scoreless at Colquhoun Park. We will be back after this short break. Welcome back as we have played 2 completes. Head to the top of the 3rd inning. And it will be the 2-3-4 hitters for Japan in Kariawa, Kitazawa, and Matsuda. The scheduled 3 to face Marshall Cronk. And be interesting to see if Cronk can make that adjustment this inning, Jackie. You know that 2 lefties, the outside corner not available. Maybe the same on the righties. The other corner, have to wait and see. But after a couple times through the order, this is the 2nd time. First pitch swinging, lifting that one up. And an easy play out there for Hayden Matthews as Kariawa is out number 1 here in the 3rd.
That's Kirunga, Kiraro, Kiwaho. Up, down, court, and out.
Nice.
That's your best one yet, sir. I
Thank
gotta
you.
say. Yes. I like that. I think I may take that back overseas, my friend.
You do that.
All right. Promise to give you your credit for sure, but I'm taking it.
Thank you.
Cronk will miss way outside to Kitazawa, who struck out in his first at bat.
But he just lost his footing on that pitch then too, when he landed. So we talked about that earlier, and so now he's having to adjust again on the field, right, and just cementing the dirt so that he's not slipping when he actually jumps off.
Well, we know the landing spot from someone 5'9" and someone 6'4" are going to be 2 different places. So I think, though, that depending on if you're righty or lefty, you're could have 1 or maybe 2 holes in on that blocks, and they're calling a strike on that swing there. So a 1-2 count now to Kitazawa.
And the viewers might see there that they might actually see that Cronk takes a look at his arm lance each time before he goes to pitch, and they may not have seen that before, that he's actually looking at his signals.
I see he's got the wristband with
The cipher.
with some notes on it
Yeah.
as he takes out the mascot to even the count at 2-2. And chasing that rise ball. So Kitazawa goes down on strikes. That is the 5th strikeout of the ball game for Cronk. So despite a little bit, fickle with the strike zone, Cronk still seems to be getting the job done.
Yeah, well, he just battles away, doesn't he? He's a real grafter.
And
He's obviously pretty determined, isn't he? He likes to, just get on top and be quite dominant. So he's prepared to actually do the mahi.
Absolutely.
As you've said, Wiramu.
Do the mahi, get on with the mahi.
Yep.
Hey, this guy's not slowing the game down. He's ready to roll.
He is, as Hikaru Matsuda took a look at 2 called strikes. He's now in the hole and got some work to do. And Cronk gets him with the rise ball. So Cronk getting the job done.
That's working for him, Lance. That rise ball's working for him.
Sure is. 1, 2, 3, down go Japan. We are going to find ourselves in the bottom of the 3rd inning. When we come back, you're watching coverage of the Tradestaff International Series on Ballpark Broadcasting NZ, brought to you by Softball New Zealand. Don't go anywhere.
100.9 and 94.9 Atiawa.
When the radio's on and the sound is hot, you just shout to enjoy. There's no way to stop. That's where it sounds from the best every day of the week. Better than all the rest. We let the music speak. All the best throwbacks, 90s and more. Atiawa talk. All the best throwbacks.
Te Aotearoa is back for 2023. We're accepting stall space applications right now. For commercial or non-commercial groups, find out more details over on Facebook or call us on 0800 Raukura.
Welcome back as we get set for the bottom of the third inning here at Colquhoun Park. Lance Wynn, Jackie Smith, Ridamir Tabake. Glad to have you with us here as rain, just a little bit of rain, but there's sun with it. So as long as we've got the sun out, we're A-OK. It'll be the 8-9-1 hitters scheduled to face Yuya Yamawaki, who has been tough to get to here in these first couple innings. And Josh McGovern takes a look at a called strike on the outside corner. McGovern, of course, a mainstay behind that dish for the Aussies. And you can see some good snap there from Yamawaki, as he may have some trouble with his footing and his control, but when he's on, he appears to be on. Bent that one just on the outside corner, and I'm sure he's asking the umpire, well, you're giving it to him. Why aren't I getting it?
Umpire's probably thinking because you're not hitting the spot.
There's a dollar bill and there's a dollar bill. When you're on a dollar bill, you're getting paid.
Well, you were getting it straight for sure up here. That pitch looked pretty good, but
Oh, that did look pretty good.
McGovern was already headed down to first base, and he earns himself a leadoff walk.
And that's a good start for Australia. Good
And
position to be in.
agreed, and that will bring up the number 9 hitter, Matt Harrow, of course, son of head coach Lang Harrow, as he steps in now. And I would expect him to be laying it down, but he was in slap mode there, which could be equally as effective, of course. But we all know that a slap hit and a sac bunt, Jackie, are two different things.
Yeah. But you know, with the slap, what can happen is you can get people going in the wrong direction, and that's what you might catch out, and then you may end up with 2 runners on base if that's what they're looking for.
No
But it
balls,
just-
2 strikes. Sorry, Jackie.
It's okay. He's just going to bring a bit of variety to it.
And there's that half slap going down, swinging. I'm sure Dad will have a little talking to his young man about that half effort as he gets fooled with that pitch, and that'll take it back to the top of the shop in Callum Bichel.
Well, that's what can happen sometimes when you have too many tools in the toolkit. You get a bit confused on what should I be doing. Just stick to the basics, you know, and sometimes in these situations. Yeah.
Yeah, a little in between there.
Yeah, just put the
Bichel,
ball
a
down.
hard hit ball that Yamawaki fielded right on his chest in the first inning. And a swing and a miss. So Bichel takes a healthy cut, can't get much of it. And the count now 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know what I'm seeing though from these pitches, both pitches, is when there are runners on, it's like they just step up another notch, right?
Agree, and there's only been the second base runner for the Aussies. And of course, just coming off of an 8-1 win over the Czech Republic, you saw them hitting the ball all over the park. Different story when you see the quality of the pitching that Yamawaki's brought to the table. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Well, good pitchers will just contain hitters. They'll be able to contain them.
Tried to bend that one down. So a good eye from Bichel. Second walk of the inning issued by Yamawaki. And for the first time in this game, 2 runners aboard for the Aussies. And that will bring up the designated player in Riley James.
And you can see Yamawaki pitching down the middle, coming down the middle, and then breaking to hit the window of the plate of the strike zone, trying to work inside and outside.
We'll see what he thinks of now as Yamawaki missing way out. That one looking for that inside corner. Another good eye there. 2 balls, no strikes. All of a sudden now, Manawatū cruising along. 2 runners on now. Seems to be just a little less comfortable in that circle. And couldn't hold that up, as that's a called strike. So with that, Manawatū gets back in the count. And it's 2-1. Missing down, so 3-1. Manawatū not helping his own cause here. And we know the thing about the Aussies, usually if they get 1 hit, they'll get 2, 3, and 4. And that's the way they can steamroll you with the sticks that they have. That one line just foul. And they really utilize that analogy of hitting is contagious. They just seem to feed off each other.
Yeah. Although I don't think Manawatū is actually allowing them to be able to put hits together. It's been a case of, a walk or 1 hit, not really back-to-back hits. So that's showing the ability of these pitchers.
100% agreement. Swing and a miss on a good drop ball. So you're right. Walk, strikeout, for Manawatū this inning, and now it'll be up to the veteran leader and captain of the Aussie team, and Nick Shales. Got caught looking to end the first inning. And
so that looks like 2 down catcher, or is that the pitcher? No, it's the catcher coming in.
And we've got a temporary runner coming out.
Yeah, temporary runner.
So with the temporary runner for the pitcher and the catcher.
But it looks like it's the 2-out rule. So Riley James is headed out to run. So catcher rule. And we'll see here if Shales can get his team on the board. And no one better at the plate for the Aussies than this guy right here, as he looks at a changeup.
He'll be looking to have a very good quality turn it back here. Probably wouldn't have been happy with his last one. So with runners on.
I'm sure he would have been quite upset as he gets a chance to rectify. And that pitch outside corner for a called strike, and that's the one he left in the previous at-bat. And we'll see if he doesn't make an effort to cover that outside corner. The 1-1. Swing and a miss on a good changeup. So Manawatū keeping a good hitter off balance.
Yeah. So he went to the same spot, maybe a little higher, but certainly off pace. Took some pace off it.
Showing all his tools in his kitty.
And a nibble. Big, tough take by Shales to leave that one on the outside corner and run the count even 2-2. No, left that one out as well, so that'll run the count full 3-2. So with 2 away, the runners will be on the move.
And he's just sticking with that outside corner. So where are we going this time, Lance?
Well, Nicky Shales, a notorious inside hitting player. I would stay outside. And he chops that one foul. You get anything, you make a mistake throwing to him inside, and he's going to hit it hard. He's got great bat speed and covers that inner part of the plate. If he has a weakness, and like you said as a pitcher, it's about containing, not necessarily the whole strikeout, but if you can get him to ground ball or ground out, you've been successful. And that changeup fooled him, sure enough. And an easy pop-up, an easy play for Sakuraba. So dodging a bullet was Manawatū. No runs, couple of walks, some strikeouts, but no one across the plate. We have played 3 innings. We'll be back with the 4th after this. Heading into the top of the fourth inning. Scoreless ball game between two undefeated teams, Japan and Australia, sitting at 2-0 here on day 2 of the Tradestaff International Series. Of course, brought to you by Ballpark Broadcasting NZ. And it'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters for Japan here in the top of the fourth inning. Morita will lead things off, 0 for 1 with a flyout. And that pitch inside, and Morita hopefully shaken and not stirred. And
He's thinking, what just happened then?
And a good show of sportsmanship there. Obviously, no intent from Marshall Cronk. So Morita will make his way down to first base, hit by a pitch. Clearly he's
I think
okay,
he was
which
caught by
is good.
surprise.
I think he was surprised it didn't hurt as much as he thought it was going to.
Yeah, I think so.
Either way, so lead-off runner aboard, and it will be Kazuya Toriyama. Toriyama, of course, walked and was left at third base in that second inning. And you can see runs at a premium here and expect that the coaches will treat it as such.
I would expect them to be bunting here.
Toriyama pops it up, Shales all over that. No one there at first base, but far from perfectly executed by Toriyama. And fortunately for the Aussies, one away, runner stays put, and it'll be Yoyu One.
And we'll see here that first pitch. Oh, and he was just lucky that it actually just got on that earpiece.
Une lifts that one up. Good call by Nick Shales, but just ran out of room as that one hit the top of the screen, right at the top of the fence. And so a good effort by Shales, but Une will have another chance here to try and move the runner along at the very least. And he sets the slap, lets that one go low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And see the shift. So they're going to clearly keep the ball on the inside of the hitters. See, baseman and shortstop have shifted up the middle.
Balloon's a master.
Right
Good
there,
hands
just
from
like
Nick
that.
Shales over to first. Double play. So tricky Nicky Shales getting it done defensively. You can score that one a 5-3 on the DP.
On a double up.
And out of the inning, get the Aussies. No runs, no hits. A runner left aboard. We're about to mosey on down to the home half of the fourth when we come back after the short break. Welcome back as you take a look at head coach Lang Harrell potentially making some changes, and I'm sure we'll see some. It may take us a bit of time to fill you in, but we will get you the changes when we get them. Or else we're just going to have to, roll along as celebrities, lots of them in the house for sure here at Colquhoun Park. Of course, Brad Rona, the legend, along with Jared Martins floating around here. And a few others, of course, to join Brad. So an outstanding group. And lots of history. Thomas Mackey, of course. So a lot of legends rolling around as the history of softball very, very deep here in the roots in New Zealand.
And I'm glad you talked about deep roots in New Zealand, Lance, because it's about whakapapa, and whakapapa is really, really important to us as an Indigenous people. You know, how we go back in time, that goes deep into our family.
4, 5, 6 scheduled hitters here as Yamawaki has dodged a bullet or two, but when he's needed to be good, Jackie, he's been tough.
Yeah, and I think both of them have really, and Cronk in that last inning showed how tough he is, and now he's going to show us just how tough he is in the batting box as well.
0 for 1 with a strikeout. Looking to help his own cause here. That one missing out from Yamawaki. You can see the way he comes over the top of that ball. That's what creates that overspin and the big break. And another nibble there, but no bite. 3 balls, 1 strike to count.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is too is he throws his off pace, right, with the same technique as well. So to pick that up through his hard ball as well as that off pitch, that's a good tool to have.
And that's what's making him so tough, clearly. The release point, the similarities between his off speed and his heat are the same. And a swing and a miss. So down he goes as Cronk, strikeout victim again for the second time. 6 strikeouts overall for Yamawaki. And that will bring up the number 5 hitter in Josh White.
And that's what I spoke about earlier. You know, the pitchers come with their magic. And being a magician, being able to fool the hitters.
Well, I know you referred to fooling the hitters, but you also referred to fooling the umpires, too. Yeah, don't try that, sir. We're keeping a very close eye on you, okay? Josh White with a strike. And again, that one was a pretty good changeup, just missed outside, and that will run the count even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rise ball looked like it may have clipped the top of that strike zone, but nothing doing. Good eye from White to leave that where it was. White, 0 for with a walk, was left stranded at first base in the second. That one will lift up and out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's the beauty of this game, Jackie. You play a game where you beat a team 8-1 and you're rolling on all cylinders, and then you run into a bit of a buzzsaw, and this game's almost the complete opposite of what you just played. And you have to make your adjustments accordingly.
Yeah, and what's key too is you have to have a tremendous amount of focus in this game because there's no letting up. It's tight the whole way through.
That ball's going to drift foul out of play. Well, you said off the top this game may come down to just 1 play here or there, and it's certainly following that course here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Swing and a miss. So a good job by Yamawaki. Talk about adjustments. Went to the drop ball. Back-to-back strikeouts. 7 in total for Yamawaki, and with 2 away now, it'll be Julian Jamat. Jamat struck out in the second, so he's 0 for 1. First pitch down in the dirt. Something that you rarely see in diamonds in North America. If you see those little blue markers that frame out the batter's box. And I think that's an excellent idea because, boy, those lines of the batter's box sure don't last very long. As the first couple batters will come in and erase them right away and try to build their own. Swing and a miss there. So Yamawaki doing a good job. He's got the change in the back of your mind, and then he comes with a drop ball, and then if he doesn't get that, he'll bring the heat up top.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing, and it seems to be working for him at the moment.
I'll say it's working for him. Striking out the side here in the 4th inning. He is getting strong. 1, 2, 3, down go the Aussies. We are about to do our slide to 5 when we come back. You're watching coverage of the Tradestaff International Series on Ballpark Broadcasting NZ, brought to you by Softball New Zealand. Don't go anywhere. We're about to wrap this one up, and it's going to be good.
Te Aotearoa is back for 2023. We're accepting stall space applications right now. For commercial or non-commercial groups, find out more details over on Facebook or call us on 0800 Raukura.
What are you up to, Matai?
Reversing. I start a new job driving a forklift on Monday.
I thought you worked in an office.
Don't limit yourself, Brian. It's never too late to make smarter choices. How's Karen?
Take control of your career with Tradestaff.
Welcome back as we are doing our slide to 5 here. It'll be
Slide to
8,
5.
9, 1. Well, you always got to slide to 5.
Slide
Jackie,
to
stretch
5.
to 7, right?
That's
what
a
you
new
got to
one.
do.
Slide to
See,
5
we're
and
just
stretch to
bringing it
7.
on over here
Love it.
as we get set with Hamamoto, followed by Sakuraba, then back to the top of the shop in Sakata to face Marshall Cronk, who himself has been very good. 5 strikeouts in the ball game. You see Cronk taking a sign and off the backstop. I'm not quite sure how that would be labeled on his arm. The one off the backstop.
The one off the backstop.
Yeah.
Did he get a signal, do you think?
I'm not sure.
one
sure.
off the
Maybe it's
backstop.
abbreviated form. Yes. So, but I guarantee you, I will ask him which one is that? Is that the red or the blue one? Okay. Hamamoto, Ofer, worked a walk in the 2nd, was left on 1st when Japan loaded the bases and failed to score. We're in the top of the 5th inning in a scoreless ball game. 2-0 count. And Cronk zips that one in there. Get back in the count. 2 balls and a strike.
And I can't help but think that both teams are feeling like something needs to happen. We need a spark. Yeah.
Well, we're in that slide to 5.
You know, we're in that slide to 5.
That's why I like you guys. 2 hoppers to the plate. Nothing doing there. Count now 3 balls and a strike. Good crowd on hand here today. Weather cooperating, and that's good to see as that one's lifted up and deep. Going back, taking a few steps at the track, and hauling it in was Hayden Matthews. So probably the hardest hit ball we've seen today from Japan.
Yes, he certainly got onto that, didn't he?
Dies out there, and a good job by Matthews to casually track it down. 1 away here, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter in Sakuraba.
Kiranga, kiraro, kiwaho. Up, down, and out.
I'm taking that one back. You can leave slide to 5 here. I'm taking that one back. Slap tried to hop that one over 3rd. And nothing doing there. Sakuraba 0 for 1 with a strikeout. It was Sakuraba who struck out with the bases loaded in the 2nd. And you go all the way back there. That was the best chance that Japan had to play to run. And Cronk again. And if you look at Cronk's delivery, Jackie, you see how little motion he needs and uses. So he gets good velocity, but there's not a whole lot of movement as far as flailing, wasted energy.
Well, he's got good drive off those legs, though, too. Here
Laid
we
down,
go.
Cronk over to 1st, not in time. So I think that was more of a footwork issue as Cronk, again, played that one. Shales left it. You don't usually leave it for your pitcher to field, but Cronk's a good fielder.
Yeah, but I just think there was maybe just a little bit of miscommunication there, and maybe Cronk just looked to me like he did hesitate for a split second. thinking that Shields was going to come across.
Did you? I
Maybe
thought
if we get another look at it, but if not.
either way down to first base. And I'm not sure if they're going to score that an error or an infield hit.
Either way, that's what they need. That's what needs to happen, right? So he's gone, okay, let's mix it up. Here we go. Let's get a little look here. Just see.
So back to the top of the shop here in Sakata. 1 for 2, as you're absolutely right, Jackie. That could have been the play there, as Kronk trying to go back to that outside part of the plate to righties and didn't get the call this time. Sakata lead-off single in the first, struck out to end the second. Missing up. Some work going on in the Aussie bullpen. Jay Shalm out there working. And again, I think as a coach, you got to like playing some tough games. I don't think you need to pull an Adam Folkert out here to close the door. And a good pitch there from Kronk to get back and even to count 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Batter's just facing up, splitting the hands.
That ball goes off Kronk's face, and fortunately he appears to be okay. Doesn't get more solid a single than that, and Kronk doing his matrix move that may have just saved him, as boy, oh boy, that was a hard hit ball.
Let's just see if we can get another look at this.
I mean, give Sakuraba some credit. He continued to play. He's at third now. So runners on the corners. And take a look here. And this is pure self-defense.
He squeezed up. Oh, yeah, it did. Hit him right on the... It looked like his forehead.
Did it? I'm not sure if he managed to get a little... I think maybe the bit of the glove may have just... softened it, deflected it a bit and then off his face, and because we know if he took that flush on, he wouldn't be standing there. So good on him. Disaster averted, and with 1 away, 2 on now for Atiawa, the center fielder, and a chance here to open the scoring with a runner just 60 feet away. Atiawa, strikeout in the first, fly out in the third. So 0 for 2 with a chance, but we know in this game, Jackie, it's about the here and now and not about the yesterday.
That's right.
That one lifted up deep.
Here we go. Will he look to go?
Long run, and what a catch out there. Tagging on the play. They're going to appeal to say he left early. Safe is the call, so a sac fly from Atiawa brings in Sakuraba, and it's a 1-0 lead for Japan.
Perfect situation for them and maximizing their opportunity there.
Well, it appears runs are going to be at a premium here in this game, so it'll be the number 3 hitter in Keisuke Kitazawa that steps in now as that one gets away, and runner will take second base on the play, Sakata. I am surprised, though, that I'm assuming the Aussie coaching staff keeping a very close eye on Kronk. He's a tough guy, and sometimes you get guys that are gamers, they just don't want to come out even if they are hurt. So.
Real hard head.
Well, I'm sure they would have gone through the protocol and they would have checked with him, so.
That's bounced, and easily scampering over to third is Sakata. So second run of the ball game is sitting at third. And a chance for Kitazawa, who has struck out twice in this ball game. That one zipped in there for a called strike. Up the middle, fielded by Cronk, knocks it down, flip over to first in time. So Marshall Cronk had things going on, and a good play there to end the inning and the threat, but not before Japan opens the scoring with a run. 1-0 they lead. We will continue our slide to 5 when we come back. You're watching coverage of the 2022 Tradestaff International Series on Ballpark Broadcasting NZ.
For all the best throwbacks, 90s and more.
Te Rao Te Raukura is back for 2023. We're accepting stall space applications right now. For commercial or non-commercial groups, find out more details over on Facebook or call us on 0800 Raukura.
And welcome back. As we know, as viewers, you will, any and anyone in the vicinity will be in Auckland for the World Cup. It's been a couple of years, to say the least, but international softball is back on the map, and right here in this beautiful country of New Zealand, a hotbed and a historical softball place where it's only fitting that after our COVID break, we come back, and here we are in one of the most scenic places in the world. 7, 8, 9 scheduled hitters here in the bottom of the 5th inning. O'Byrne, McGovern, and Harrell facing a new pitcher now as Yuya Yamawaki. An outstanding job to keep the Aussie bats quiet and off the board. And he'll give way to Takura Kawano.
Let's see if the Aussies can come back as the Japanese team did in the 5th inning and manufacture a run.
Scott Patterson in hitting for Brendan O'Byrne. And Patterson, a flare, but Une just a little trot to his right to haul that one down for one away.
You can certainly see a shift in the Japan team when they get ahead. You know, they start to look like they're enjoying themselves, they're enjoying the game, they start to have a little bit of a smile on their face. You know, they know when to focus and then when to actually enjoy themselves.
Josh McGovern steps in, earned himself a walk in his only other at bat. That pitch in tight for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that one missing up. So Yamawaki was outstanding. 9 strikeouts in just 5 innings.
So the Australians will have to adjust here because you've got your a left-handed pitcher.
So a different release point and missing there for a 3-1 count.
So that's a smart move. They've gone ahead, 1 run ahead. Let's just change things up. So that's what they'll have to do now. Australia will really not only have to adjust to any timing or types of pitches, but also it's coming from a different release point. It's coming from the left.
Josh McGovern, hold up, wait a minute. Young man, come on back here for another pitch. And had a notion, did he go? And no, he did not. So a 1-out walk for McGovern, his 2nd walk in this ball game, and that will bring up the number 9 hitter in Matt Harrell. That pitch is right back, got to play, and not quite sure. There are a whole lot of legends in the building here. Not quite sure any of them didn't dive to catch that ball and save someone, but either way, no damage done.
Really important here that we sacrifice well, move the ball.
Well, I'm surprised with an 0-1 pitch and Harold swinging away. I would think that there would be some value in trying to manufacture a run, knowing that even with the World Cup on the horizon, runs are going to be at a premium. So that's a pop-up. That's going to be trouble. Could land in no man's land. And what a grab out there by Une. That basket catch there was a highlight in itself. And if you've ever played infield and had to go back blind like that, you'll know how difficult that was.
And do a little twirl at the same time. They're just showing their class, though, aren't they? The Japanese team.
Well,
guys.
so a great catch by Une, solid defense, and we, of course, Jackie, talked about that off the top. Defensively, there are no holes.
No.
And it'll take it back to the top of the shop in Callum Bichel. Bichel, hard hit ball in his first at-bat, didn't result in a hit. Walked in his second at-bat, was left stranded, that in the third, at second. And now here with his third at-bat of this ball game. Ground ball to third, gobbled up, lead runner at second, and going the short way across the body was Sakuraba. And he records the out, 5-3 if you're scoring at home, so no runs, no hits, runner left aboard. We have just played 5. We're headed to the 6th when we come back after this.
Number 1 for all the best throwbacks, 90s and more.
What are you up to, Matai?
Reversing. I start a new job driving a forklift on Monday.
I thought you worked in an office.
Don't limit yourself, Brian. It's never too late to make smarter choices. How's Karen?
Take control of your career with Tradestaff.
That play again, because if you throw that out to center field, the inning continues, and now we're in trouble because the tying run has just come in.
Well, that's what would normally happen, but he's so confident.
That guy comes across his body with a bullet to second base to get the lead runner with 2 outs. Yeah, totally. Welcome back as we've got ourselves a 1-run game here. Japan plating the first run of the ball game. And they manufactured that well. It was an RBI sac fly from Kuryawa that got the job done, and it will be the 4, 5, 6 hitters scheduled now for Japan in Matsuda, Morita, and Toriyama. So we'll see here if Marshall Cronk, and as we do have a new pitcher come in, and it's Jay Salou, as he has come in to take over for Cronk. So Marshall Cronk, give him credit. You surrendered 1 run to the second best team in the world. So I think that that's something, certainly an accomplishment in itself.
And that's what they'll be looking to do. Remember, they're on the road to the World Cup, so they need to give him the game time, see how he goes, see what they need to work on, what worked, what didn't work. Again, the combinations, just like everybody else has been doing.
Matsuda working on an 0 for 2 afternoon. And they were lucky enough to manufacture a run without him. A pop-up in the first, strikeout to end the third. As you take a look there, New Zealand, Argentina coming up after this one. And if you're not already on your way, you certainly should be, as this joint is already jumping. Been some outstanding softball played already here, with more to come. 3-1 to Matsuda on the corner for a called strike.
That was the pitch.
So Salou doing a good job. A little bit different, brings it just a little bit differently than Kronk does. As he's got a little more, he's got a few more pitches to work with, and that a walk, leadoff walk to Matsuda.
Jack, you talked about contributions by the team. We have a saying in our culture, Amorangi Kimura te hapai o Kimuri. So things are going well in the front, things are going well in the back.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
It's a two-way street in terms of supporting the front and the back.
Yusuke Morita to Hopper, and well played there at second base by Brendan O'Byrne, as he knew that he was going to have to hurry to get that, and he did just that.
Yeah, it was a little awkward there, wasn't it? On the chop, and then the runner running past him.
And I apologize, O'Byrne. I've given you credit that you didn't really deserve. That was Matt Harrell with the quick release at second base. Matsuda will move to second on the play, as that ball's lined out, but on a rope to O'Byrne, as he shows up right in the nick of time there, and that for the first out here. So 2 away here for Yuyo One, and we know what he can do defensively. Offensively, he's a slap hitter, and I mean, dare I say, a slap hitter with some power, because he does have that. And again, multi-tooled.
With a lot of confidence.
Dangerous combo for sure.
Yeah.
That ball, weak grounder, good job fielding that. Easy play by Josh White to end the inning and the threat. Sorry, that was Hayden Matthews to end the inning and the threat. No runs, no hits, nobody left aboard. We're headed down to the home half of 6. Getting kind of tense here as we are in a 1-run ball game. Back after this. All set here for the home half of the 6th inning. And I tell you, in between innings, this joint is definitely jumping, as everyone looking forward to the finale here tonight, as well as the finish of this one. A 1-run game, 2, 3, 4 scheduled hitters, and Riley James, Nick Shales, and Marshall Kronk will be the scheduled hitters. We'll see if Kronk is reinserted back into the lineup to hit. And either way, Riley James working on an 0-for-2 ball game. He has struck out twice.
And I would imagine their coach will really be looking for his top half of the order here to really make something happen. You know, just do the basics. I know that sounds easy from up here.
Well, you're right.
Yeah.
That's why they're at the top of the order, and you know there's going to come a time where they're going to be called on that one hopper and an easy play for Toriyama doesn't come much easier than those. Score that 3 unassisted and quickly one away now for Nick Shales. And, I mean, I talk up tricky Nick Shales, and he has got caught looking and grounded back to the pitcher. So 0 for 2. We'll see here if he can't stand and deliver. Be a good time for him to get into one, so to speak, as a good swing there, but a miss.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what he'll be wanting to do at this turn at bat. Still needing a quality turn at bat, though. Somehow, however way you can, get on base.
Ground ball, Une. Routine as that throw is low, but a good job by Toriyama to dig that one out. And a big out for Japan to get Nick Shales for the 3rd time. Take a look, and no, it is Jay Salou that is batting for himself, and as he came in to take over for Marshall Cronk last inning. So right now the Aussies looking for a base runner. Now I can't imagine even down a run in the 6th that there's a whole lot of stress going on with Lang Harrell and the Aussie bench. As you can see, they certainly aren't wiping their eyes or crying or anything along those lines. So as far as I can see, again, if you're playing competitive ball in this tournament, I think that's really what's important, is getting your team going, not necessarily worrying about the W.
Yeah, and I think you're right. That's what's really important here. Again, it's just, let's just be conscious of the fact it's about good turns at bat. Let's not try and win the cup before we play the cup. Yeah, so just have good turns at bat, see the pitches, good pitch selection.
Agree. Well, no one wants to go undefeated in the regular season and lose in the first round of the playoffs. No one wants to do that. We've seen that before. Salou will take a walk, so a good at bat from Jay Salou as he works a 2-out walk, and that will bring up the number 5 hitter in Josh White. Walked and struck out. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter in Jack Burt. So Jack Burt is going to come in to hit for White. So his first at bat here in this ball game. So a good job by Lang Harrell and a pinch runner. And it looks like we will have to get you his information, as we seem to be taking a look back here now, and it'll be Shales. So the 2-out catcher rule in effect. And a chance here for Burt to keep the inning alive. Like some good velocity there from Kawano, not able though to find the strike zone. There's the legendary Lang Harrell, of course, Hall of Fame career, Hall of Fame coach, and all-around outstanding individual. Japan holding on to this 1-run lead here in the home half of the 6th inning.
Ooh.
Bent that one in tight, missing inside. 3 balls, no strikes. That pitch in there for a strike.
You see how far he ends up outside that circle. Really drives out. He ends up quite wide.
That ball's lifted up, and settling under it is Hamamoto, and he'll make the grab to end the inning. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Down go the Aussies. They will be down to their final 3 outs. But before that, we're headed to the top of the 7th inning. Last at bat here for Japan when we come back. Welcome back to Colquhoun Park here in Palmerston North, New Zealand, as we are ready for the top of the 7th inning. And a good swing there, as it will be the 8-9, then back to the top of the shop hitters, as it looks like Naoki Kawada will come in to pinch hit for Te Hamamoto. And he will get his first look at Jay Salu. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Jackie, hard if you have a 1-run lead and you are the visiting team. It's hard sometimes to go up there and swing the bat comfortably because you're thinking about just getting those 3 outs and getting out of the ball game. So sometimes that could be a little distraction for you in the final inning.
It can be distracting, yeah, you're absolutely right. And you can often think too far forward, right, to that inning, and you just want to get the game over because you're in front. But actually, this is where Japan could be dangerous, because they're quite capable of putting another couple of runs on the board here. So, yeah. They're very capable of that. Yeah, so the shortstop has been, he has his signals.
One hopper, Tricky Shales. There's nothing you're going to get by that guy there. Certainly one of the all-state good hands people, as he mans that hot corner as good as anyone.
They're really hitting the ball hard, though, so that means that their timing is on. So the shortstop also is checking his signals when the catcher is giving his signals to the pitcher. The pitcher also looks at his signals.
Yusuke Sakuraba, and that one a solid single. That's his 2nd hit of the ball game. So he is actually the only player in this ball game that has, sorry, I apologize, Sakata has 2 hits as well. So those 2 are the only 2 in the ball game with multiple hits. Believe it or not, Australia still looking for their first hit of this ball game. They have actually worked 4 walks, but have not gotten that hit that could possibly put a number on the board, and that's the difference here. So top of the shop now with Sakata, and again, 2 for 3 with a couple of singles and a strikeout. He has been a real thorn, if any thorn, in the side of Australia today.
He has indeed. So it'll be interesting to see what he does here. Oh.
And a check swing there, as that was fouled off the backstop and out of play. So the count, no balls, 2 strikes. So some work to do by Sakata. Salu's going to have to be careful here. You don't want to put anything too juicy, as Sakata stays alive, fouling that one back.
Sakata will be looking to make contact, move that runner. If it can hit through the infield, that'll probably create a 2-base hit.
Well, I think that would certainly be the optimistic plan.
Ideally.
2 hopper, and that's a tough last hop, but it goes right into the glove of Harrell, and he's just, you can see his frustration. Didn't expect that one to ricochet his way, but a good effort at short by Jamaat, but that ball took a last funny hop, and there was nothing he could do about that. Now, I'm not the official scorer, but I think Sakata has earned himself his 3rd hit of the ball game, as he's at first, other runner at second, and it's Kariawa, the center fielder, now who steps in. 0 for 2, but he's the one responsible for the lone run with the sacrifice fly.
And as I was saying before, they'll continue to just apply that pressure and have good turns at bat and move the ball.
Ground ball to short. To 3rd for the force. Almost an incredible pivot by Shales at 3rd to try to think about gunning that over to try to double it up. Instead, they do a good job to cut down the lead runner. on the 6-5 fielder's choice. And now with 2 away, that will bring up the number 3 hitter. And there will be a pinch hitter, and it'll be Teo Kateoka. So Kateoka with a chance here to add to their lead if he can deliver a 2-out hit. And a big rip there. Certainly was trying to do just that with that swing.
Well, they're really looking at going at anything that's close now, aren't they? Anything that's, if it's there, if it's in the zone, we're going to have a go at it. So very aggressive at this stage in the game.
Well, that's one of the advantages to having that
When you
one-run
got a
lead.
lead.
You could go out there swinging that bat. Took something off. Salou put that in there for a called strike. No balls, 2 strikes. Kateoka in the hole here. Salou trying to get his team up to bat one last time. Ground ball. That goes under the glove, and that's going to bring in another run. And, boy, we talked about that and what Japan can do, and we're going to have to score that. Certainly an error. And although it didn't touch a glove, the first error of the game allows run to come in to score in Sakuraba. And it's a 2-0 lead for Japan.
That goes to supporting the whakataki aha koheiti Paulabu. Doing those little things and
You're right.
creating that situation right there.
Yeah, just all of those little things that are really, really important to contribute to the game.
Well, the both of you have been alluding to that off the top, and it's been case in point with that here down in Money Time, and that was a prime example. It's always part of the process. It's always something little that leads to something big. And that pitch inside for a called strike.
And you know, the both teams have had quite a few turns at bat today. You know, this is their 3rd game. So you'd think now that they're probably just, you know, starting to fine-tune and get their timing right, see the ball.
Not in the dirt, but a run's going to come in to score. So good speed by Sakata as he plates the 2nd run of the inning, 3rd run of the game for Japan.
And you could maybe argue that was maybe an error. I'm not a scorer. I don't know how that works.
Well,
a fumble or what was that?
I think that's a wild pitch only
Wild
because
pitch?
it's in the dirt
Wild
first.
pitch,
Yeah.
Okay.
Chasing that, trying to tomahawk it is Matsuda. And Matsuda, one of their best hitters, 0 for 2 with a walk here in this ball game. And again, plating those 2 runs this inning, certainly going to make it difficult for the Aussies to muster up something or anything when they're still looking for their first hit. That ball out to center. Callum Bichot hauls it in. So finally, but not before 2 runs get plated by Japan. They lead this one 3-0. 3 outs to get for Japan. Last 3 left for the Aussies. You're watching coverage of the Tradestaff International Series on Ballpark Broadcasting NZ, brought to you by Softball New Zealand. Don't go away. Welcome back as we get set for the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be the 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Aussies and their last chance in Jamat, O'Byrne, and McGovern. The scheduled 3 would expect to see some changes, as I see Patterson in the on-deck circle for O'Byrne. And Kawano will try to close the door here on this one and up the record for Japan to 3-0. Of course, with a loss, the Aussies would fall to 2-1. So either way, these two undefeated teams, something has to give. That ball's lined out to left field, and you can't get out of this ballpark right now. First hit of the game for the Aussies is a home run, courtesy Julian Jamat.
Ka rere atu tēnā manu ki a hitarehi. That ball is sailed back to Australia.
Well, I tell you, the difference in the wind that has died down, and Jackie, you just alluded to the fact that it seems like the weather's just gotten so much nicer.
Yeah.
Everything's calm and still, and you see that line drive home run from Jamat snuck its way just over that fence out there in left field.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of a shift in the wind too. It's actually now going from the right to the left. This morning it was left to right. But it certainly does seem a lot calmer.
Scott Patterson, the hitter now, with no one aboard. Leadoff solo home run from Jamat has gotten the Aussies on the board and cut the deficit back to 2. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. So some good work from Kawano as he bounces back and records the strikeout.
Bounce back after that home run. No pitcher's ever happy about something like that. So they come back strong.
Agreed. Josh McGovern, an 0 for day with 2 walks. So McGovern has had himself a good eye, a very keen eye in this ball game. But he has been left on base both times. Hard hit ball through the hole on the left side. So second hit of the ball game for the Aussies comes in the bottom of the 7th, and they still keep hope alive.
You know, there's something that says for when you're going into the last inning, sometimes it's about, and you just, guys, no pressure on us. Let's just get up there and just hit the ball. See the ball and hit the ball. I
think it's because you mentioned the time and the speed of the game, and I'm just telling you, if we didn't have our resident here, yes, Jack Beesgrove, will step into the batter's box. You know, we got to lay that blame on someone, Jackie. Yeah. You know, we got to lay it on the good-looking person. That's just the way it goes. Swing and a miss by Beesgrove, chasing that drop ball for the first strike. Beesgrove, of course, one of the throwers for this Australian team. Swing and a miss there, but I don't think there's anyone that throws on this Aussie team that doesn't hit as well, as they are just a well-rounded bunch. So Beesgrove, of course, hitting for Matt Harrell. And that's the first time in a few innings we've seen some issues with the landing spot.
Yeah, and particularly with the Japanese pitchers.
1 out, a run plated already, runner aboard. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Swing and a miss, so down he goes. Nothing doing for Beesgrove. Second strikeout of the inning for Kawano. And now the Aussies down to their last at bat here in Callum Bichel at the top of the shop. Bichel, hard hit ball in the first, but resulted in nothing. Walked in the third and grounded out to end the 5th. That pitch, a nibble on the outside corner, no bite for ball 1. So just in case you missed it off the top, Japan has beaten Czech Republic and New Zealand. Australia, winners over Argentina and the Czech Republic. before these two locked horns here in this one, and it has taken 7 innings to decide, and right now Japan holding that 2-run lead. That ball's lined out to left field. That's going to go to the wall for extra bases. Rounding second into third. Didn't get the stop sign. Cut off. Throw to second. Not in time. That goes out to the field. Runner's going to come around third. They're waving him home. And can you believe it? But we are tied 3-3 here in the 7th.
And just like that.
So I think we should start off with a double at the very least for Bichel. On his horse, McGovern never broke stride. And boy, he was working hard.
He was moving.
And
he was moving all right.
So a double with a 2-base error brings in Bichel. And we have ourselves a tie game. And a meeting in the circle, as it looks like 7's just not going to be enough to decide this, and I hope we've all learned a valuable lesson through all of this.
It's never over. It's never over. But you know, you could see though by both teams when they went into this last inning, there just seemed to be that. What would you call it? A sense of, okay, let's just go out there and just hit the ball. Let's just do what we need to do.
Well, you mentioned that when when the Aussies had the 1-run lead, and they come and you knew that, oh, good, they were just so lackadaisical in that.
Yeah.
So
it's that, and that's okay to be relaxed.
Nothing wrong with that. Riley James now the hitter, as you can see that Aussie bench, although it looks the same as it did when they were trailing by 2. It's that ball, ground ball, weakly to second and flipped over. So finally, it is on the putout. It's going to be 4-3, and as far as I know, I think that may do it for the ball game. It's a time, but they're coming back out.
That's Jackie. I was going to say earlier on. We would say tamatu, tamaora, tamanoho, tamamate.
Yeah.
And it's about, hey look, we got to front up, or else it's over and done. We're going home. And guess what? Australia fronted up and scored.
Yeah, this is great, and this is what the crowd's here for too.
Absolutely.
This is what we're here for. This excitement. A good game's a long game.
Oh, Jackie, you just put the nice little icing on that cake so beautifully. Fixed up the little break there, and boom, that cake tastes great. All right.
Hey, so what I want to know though is, of course, these are time games.
I thought I would have thought this would have been close to the time limit.
Yeah. So
but
we'll
again,
keep an eye on that.
We're doing our thing here, and we're not doing the clock. So, as far as I can see, it will be the 5, 6, 7 hitters scheduled, and it's taken a long time for Japan to get a player up to bat, and I think they may be having this discussion, or they may be talking about changes.
Or are they going into a tiebreaker?
But look, on the time limit, Australia had the last hit, so they had to hit out. And because they were hitting and they were still in the 2 hour, they had to finish that innings.
Right.
So we've completed that innings. We're in a tight ball game, so we're going to go extra.
So we'll see if they do it with the international rule or how they're going to play this one out.
Yep, we're going to go international.
So for those,
so a runner at 2.
So there will be a runner at second base. We are in the top of the 8th inning. In a tie ball game. So give some credit to the Aussies as Japan plated the first run and then the second and third runs, and back came the Aussies courtesy a leadoff solo home run and then a couple of extra base hits. And 1, 2, 3, here we go. Tie ball game, and we'll see what Morita can do here in his fourth at bat of the game. He flied out, was hit by a pitch, and grounded out. Squaring the bunt with that runner at second, got a foul tip on it. And this, Jackie, is one of those situations where you know heading to the World Cup that you will be faced with this situation. Certainly there, as the competition will be, there's a lot of parity in the world, and 1-6, these teams are close. Ground ball, fielded it short, check over at second, good gun over there to record the out.
It's a good out.
So some good defense there by Jamaat.
It's a good play. Probably hit a bit too hard to the shortstop. Maybe you needed him to come in a little bit just to give you some time to get up to first. So perfect hit really for Australia. Hit straight to the fielder.
Kazuya Toriyama, the hitter, walked, popped out, lined out. So he's made some contact, but hasn't been able to find a hole. Was left stranded at third in the second inning when Japan loaded the bases, but failed to plate a run. That ball looked like a good pitch to hit by Toriyama, but not able to keep it between the white lines.
Yeah, it just looked like he tuned on that a bit too early. This probably needs to stay in a little longer.
Sure you stick around, of course. Our finale of the night will feature the world number 1 and reigning World Cup champions from Argentina, 0-2 today, taking on the host nation in New Zealand, also sitting 0-2. So something has to give there. Someone's going to pick up their first win, and it should be an outstanding ball game. Right here, right now, though, we've got a good one here in the 8th, extras, as the Aussies have plated 3 in their last inning to force another inning of play, and Toriyama working with a 2-2 count. And that one fouled back again. Jay Slew came in relief of Marshall Cronk.
So things probably change a little bit now in the batter's box, and that they'll be protecting the plate, right? They really need to be making sure that they're making contact on anything that comes close.
Got to protect that. That one driven out. That's going to land in the gap, being right center. Rounding first, big turn, but that run's going to come in to score. So a clutch hit for Toriyama. His first hit of the ball game results in an RBI and a 4-3 lead for Japan.
And really showing just what needs to be done.
Getting it done when he needs to, as that will bring up the shortstop, Yo-Yu One. One singled in the second, grounded into a double play. That was the 5-3 rope to third, and grounded out. And again, that slap, bit short, and fouled off. Looks like a good crowd getting set as the host nation will be ready to take the diamond after this one. And that one bounced in the dirt.
Nere Ryan said, you know, and we were saying, he pakana kei te haere, kei te haere. Well, the battle is still continuing, and that's what's going on out here. And we're in extra innings. Japan and Australia are duking it out.
Hard chopper, Shales, bare hand, gun over to first in time.
Great play.
So that's what an all-world ball player can do. As he, glove, we don't need no glove. And
no, well, you don't have time. You don't have time for
you.
your glove,
He would
right?
not have had time for the transfer. You're absolutely right. That was a bare hand or nothing.
Yeah.
And with 2 away now and a runner at second in Toriyama, it will be Tei Hamamoto.
And I mean, Lance, you watch that and that, you know, he makes it look easy, but it's not easy to do that sort of thing.
Nothing
not
barehanded's easy, Jack. You got that right. You are so right. Atiawa catching his breath. He had to leg out a little bit of base running there. That was a good pitch in there. Took a little off, did slow. And it's an 0-2 count. If you're the Aussies, you really want to just give up that one run and boom, back in the dugout to go sticking. You don't want to give up any more than that. That's a flare that could land in no man's land, but a good job tracking that is Bichel. And he does to record the final out. But not before. A run's plated by Japan. They have taken a 4-3 lead. Once again, last chance for the Aussies when we come back. You're watching the Tradestaff International Series on Ballpark Broadcasting NZ, brought to you by Softball New Zealand. Welcome back to Colquhoun Park here, as we have certainly got a good one going here. Man, oh man, it has been one thrilling ball game, as the Aussies now down to their last 3 outs. It will be Nick Shales, the number 3 hitter, followed by Marshall Cronk and Jack Burt. As you can see, day 2, game 6 finale. New Zealand and Argentina, and boy, if you're not here, you should be, because you could miss another epic battle. So international rules, of course, apply. Runner at second base. Nick Shales with a chance here to, at the very least, you want to be able to move the runner.
Yeah. You know, just trust the process, move the runner, put the ball down.
I mean, nothing's a given, Jackie. Of course, even if you have a runner at second, it's still tough to get that done.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Nick Shales, working on an 0-for-3 ball game, is going to swing away here.
Well, and that's the thing. Again, when we're looking forward, if we're in this situation, what do we want to do if we're chasing runs? Do we want to sacrifice, or with your hitters up that can actually hit the ball, do we want them to have a go at hitting? There's all of these options, right? All of these scenarios.
Well, I think he may be one of only a couple of batters that Langhara would probably give the green light to in this situation, knowing that he probably brings more to the table swinging the bat than he does bunting the ball.
Yeah.
So we will see here. As you can see, pretty ominous cloud there, as that one's bounced in, gets away, and that's
and you
the
can
runner.
also have that.
And Shales has done a job.
Did I just get excited then?
Not at all. Not at all.
Now Nick Shales really has a green light.
That one is bounced there, and a chance here with a hit now. So the hard part done, and Nick Shales, if he can pull something out here, could tie this ball game with a hard hit ball. And that one is chopped foul. So a good twist from Shales, not able to put the ball in play. And the count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good battle going here, head to head. Kawano, Shales. And Shales flares that one back up, and
he's looking better on that outside pitch, isn't he?
for sure.
He's made the adjustment.
I thought Softball New Zealand's Tony Giles was going to reach up and grab that, but apparently his playing days are over. So we'll have to hope that the next time he's able to catch that ball. Count still 2-2. Shales with a flare. That's going to be just foul. As he certainly didn't get all of that, but had it landed on the other side of the chalk, it would have been just enough.
And that's that inside pitch that you said. If you throw him that inside pitch,
It was.
he's going to turn on it and he's going to hit it.
His bat speed is outstanding, and he's one of those Derek Jeter types that are just able to get that bat head out quick. And he'll protect the outside and bait you to the inside. And he leaves that one out. So an outstanding at bat by Shales this
Very good
time
turn
around.
at bat.
Good discipline here, and he's worked the count full. I'm not so sure if you don't do that unintentional, because he's swinging a pretty good bat here. And he leaves that one out.
A walk.
So a good at bat from
Good
Nick
at bat.
Shales to lead things off. And now with runners on the corners, it's going to be Jay Salou, who's going to try and help his own cause and
What are we
deliver a
gonna do
big
here?
hit.
Hey, you know what? You do the mahi, you get the treats. Hey,
That's
Jackie,
the one.
That's the saying here.
That's
in
the one. You
Aotearoa.
do the mahi, you get the
treats.
treats.
And that's what's happening right here. Nick Shales did the mahi.
So are we going to bunt? Are they going to bunt here? There's none down.
I think you have to make the defense work. So I would agree with
Or
you.
at least move
You have
the
to make
ball.
something happen.
Yeah.
You're the bunt. Someone has to play it. Is he
Yeah.
checking the runner? Does
Yeah.
you throw that away? That run's going to score for sure.
Yeah.
Even if you let that throw go, you've got good speed with Ishala at third base. So, I mean, yeah.
And what does Japan do? Do they go for a double play to get out of the inning? Do they sacrifice the run from third, right, to tie the game? Or are they aggressive and they just focus on holding that run at third?
That'll be the question.
Yeah.
Well, there are no outs right now, so Japan will want to, Australia will want to get Shales to second base because then they've got runners in
Yeah.
scoring position.
Yeah. So
I
there's
would-
many options.
I would possibly think the possibility may be Shales with that decoy run to halfway between first and third, hoping to draw a throw, gets a throw, runner will take off, throw comes back, he's at second.
see what
safe.
happens.
We'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Salou the batter. And that pitch missing down. So Kawano facing the pressure here, things starting to tighten up just a bit.
He's trying to throw a few balls.
And Kawano doesn't want to throw a pitch that's going to land in the dirt and hit the screen.
And that again is one of the threats 60 feet away. And chopped down there. That's going to go down. That's a fair ball. A run's going to come in. Shales is going to stop at third. And a big clutch hit from Salou, helping his own cause. We are tied at 4. So a big run pushed in by Salou. And what's even bigger is Nick Shales now standing at third base with the winning run.
In Australia with a lot of options here.
A lot of options, and it's going to be Jack Burt that's going to get a chance here with nobody out and a chance to get this winning run across. Well, what do you do, Coach? Because you're the coach here.
Well, look, the pressure's not on them. There's none down. There's none down.
So go swing away is what you're saying.
So just go back to the
Go hit the ball.
mentality that they had before. See the ball, hit the ball.
Well, we'll see if they can see it and hit it right here. Burt leaves that one outside.
And just be really disciplined in the batter's box and patient, because he's actually thrown a lot of balls in this inning, right?
Sure has. Burt came in, flied out, and is only a bat. He came in for Josh White and had a notion on the change, and they'll check down if he went or not, and he did not. So 2 balls, no strikes. And I'm not sure here if the play isn't the best play wouldn't be to just load up the bases here to create a force play at every bag instead of allowing a potential hit to win the game. Just makes the scenario a bit bounced in there. Good block back there.
So this is just showing, though, when you apply pressure to a team like Japan, right, they're quite capable of doing things like this.
Well, and that's
finding
exactly what we saw.
Situations like this, right?
So down to first, base is now loaded on the walk.
Yeah.
And it's going to come up to Julian Jamat, who kept this alive with that solo home run, first hit of the game for the Aussies in the 7th. And that, of course, led to 2 more runs and a tie game. So a chance here for him to not only save the game, but win it. And he'll lift that one up, and we'll see if that has enough. It's short. Played at center, and
will they go?
Shales will fake that, and again fake it, and a good job to run it in by Atiawa as Shales tried to bait him for a throw. You do that, it bounces away, and it's an easy run, but a good job to run that all the way in from center. So Jamat not able to cash that in, just 1 away. And it'll be Patterson.
Really need to do anything, did he? Because it's, you know, there's only 1 down. You got hitters. You got hitters coming up. Trust your hitters.
They got chances. They got chances. So we'll see here. Patterson can't deliver in the crunch. Colquhoun. That ball lifted up, and that's going to do it. That is definitely deep enough. Caught. Shales tagging. And the winning run as the Aussies come through in 8 innings and win this one 5-4. And boy, you talk about a ball game. Momentum here, momentum there, and Jackie, just some quick thoughts before we wrap this one up.
Well, that was a ball game, wasn't it?
Thank you, Jeff.
But it did everything that we talked about right at the top of the game very quickly. You know, they took till the 5th inning for Japan to score, and then it wasn't till late in the game that both teams seemed to just relax and get out there and play ball, and that's when things actually started to happen.
Wait a minute, your call. What are your thoughts?
Look, guys, just had everything in terms of our Māori values and whakataki, ahakoa, he paunamu, he eti, he paunamu, those little things worked away. Mahi tai, lots of that, doing the mahi, getting the treats, but here's the thing. Tama tū, tama ora, tama noho, tama mate. So Australia looking down and out. They came back, rallied, and now they're the victors of this game.
Down and out, the Aussies have improved their record to 3-0. Japan falls to 2-1 on the day. We'll wrap up, of course, day 2 of action with New Zealand taking on the world champions in Argentina. That coming up right following this. So on behalf of myself, Jackie Smith, Rira Tamaki, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Stick around. Big one coming.
Hey, papa oia mai te Manawatū, Manawatū, Manawatoka. Tēnei hoki tō manawa ka tika. Tēnei hoki tō manawa ka toka. Tēnei hoki tō manawa ka pau. Tāia tia. Tēnā noho tō manawa, he manawa ora, he ora. Whiti whano haramai te toki. Haumi e, hui e, taiki e.
Nice.
Good
Nice.
job. Great game. That was fun. See? See, OG?
No, this
See, OG?